Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bad Ideas. We are going to talk about Moon Knight. That felt like a weird intro, but that's okay. We're going to talk about Moon Knight. I'm so excited. This show was so interesting, all completely something different than what we've seen from the MCU before. But, Bianca, how are you today?
I'm tired. How are you?
I'm tired too. I really am. I need to wake up a little bit. Maybe this conversation will wake me up. But I I honestly, I want to say before we get into like specifics about this show, and obviously just going into it, we did review the first issue episode, not issue. And now we're gonna review the series as a whole, and there will be spoilers. Definitely gonna be spoilers. But before we even get into it, this is the best MCU show so far, in my opinion.
Me too, and it's the only one I've watched.
Ah, slacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I and honestly, I get it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki were really good too, but and so was WandaVision. I never finished Hawkeye because it was boring. It,
Ooh.
and it wasn't that bad. I just was like, I'm not super attached to these characters, and I think that's what it was for me. But this show's best, hands down, easily the best so far. And like, I love like Oscar Isaac. I've never seen him in anything before, but
Oh, you didn't watch
this
Star Wars. That's right.
this was a dream role for him.
Yeah.
This was like, I don't know. I feel like he should get paid a couple salaries in this because he played a couple characters, and like, it seems kind of unfair. Like we've got Mark, we've got Steven, and then of course the hints at Jake, which we'll get to that end credit scene here in a little bit. But like, dude needs to get paid. He did such a good job, and they pulled. And I know you're not as familiar with the comic version of Moon Knight, but some of this stuff was pulled like straight from Jeff Lemire's run, so he needs to get paid too. Marvel, get on top of it. Anyway, so I want to say, all right, talking about storytelling, the first half of this was extremely slow moving. I don't know if you kind of got that, but like, I
Yeah.
almost got a little bored.
I think like the third episode is when it picks up a little bit.
Yes, and I do think it helped that I know the characters, so I kind of knew the hints they were going for. But it was very slow storytelling at the beginning, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if it's done correctly. And it was, but it just felt like, okay, come on, guys, let's get to it. But by that third episode, by the end of that third episode, you're glued. Like, I love it. I love it. So, what did you think of Steven and Mark as two different entities within one person?
It was pretty fun. I got gotcha'd.
What do you mean you got gotcha?
Well, since I don't know about Moon Knight, and I know there's I know there's a Steven, I know there's a Mark Spector, but like it had you believe that Steven is the original personality.
Yeah, it did.
And it's like I knew it was Mark too, and I still fell for it.
You know what? I fucking fell for it too because I'm like maybe they're just changing stuff around, maybe they're just nope. No, not even a little bit. Now, there was a couple hints at like before the end credit scene, not even including that. Did you notice the couple hints at the third personality?
Yeah. I was like, okay, who's this? I'm like, oh, it's obviously Mark. And then I think the third episode, Steve was like, how could you do this? And Mark's like, that's not me. And I'm like, oh, it's another one.
Uh-huh. And then that last episode where not Emmett, Harrow. He's losing to Harrow, and all of a sudden he does the blackout again. And I'm like, God damn it, don't do the blackout thing again. Cause that got not irritating, but like when they were doing the blackout thing in the first episode, I'm like, I want to see the action. Let me see the
Me
action.
too. I'm like, come on, man. Bump
And
it up. Maybe because it was like, oh, it's too mature. We gotta keep it TV 14.
Well, I thought we weren't going to see the action. Nope, it was. I mean, we didn't, but it was just a hint at that third personality, and I'm so glad they brought Jake in because, from my remembrance, especially from the Jeff Lemire run, Jake was the I don't give a fuck. Like Jake was the one who came later in life, whereas Steven and Mark, very young. Jake didn't come until I want to say like late in the middle part of Mark's life. So he was already like ruthless in nature, and that's exactly what they went for with him. Like that end credit scene, it's so weird to me because you could line up each, Oscar Isaac plays all three parts, but you could line them up on a screen and play them at once, and it to me it's like he's playing three different people. He's absolutely playing three different people, and that's only to the credit of Oscar Isaac because he does such a good job. But seeing that Jake character, I fucking love it. Like I'm hyped for season 2. I can't wait until they bring. I want to see this. I want to see him on the big screen. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see a Moon Knight show now. I mean movie. It was that good. That's the thing. It was that
But
good.
it sucks because it's not going to be canon. It's not canon to the Marvel universe.
I know, and I don't understand that.
Like, I need an explanation, please.
Yeah, but aren't they hinting at doing a Midnight Suns show also?
Oh, what?
Midnight Suns?
Are they?
Team? Yeah, so like, I don't know why it would not be canon if they're talking about that already, because they need Blade, and they've hinted at Blade in Eternals. And then they're going to need to bring in Ghost Rider, just for the basics of the Midnight Sun. So they're going to need Moon Knight. I wonder if I thought originally when we did the first video about this that maybe it was because of something with Multiverse of Madness, but no, I was wrong there. I don't know why. I think it's dumb, but you know what? If it's this good each time and it's not canon, I'm okay with it just because it's that fucking good. What did you think of the psych ward stuff?
Oh, I liked it. I was super fascinated by it, but I was also, what the heck's going on?
I was so fucking confused. I did not know which reality was real at all. Like, I didn't know if all of this, every once in a while you get that. And I think it's a little bit more lazy storytelling where it's like the dream theory. All of it's a dream or all of it's fake, right? And I thought maybe by the middle of the 5th episode, that's what they were going for. But I think what they're going for, have you seen Doom Patrol at all?
Yeah, I'm on. Oh, wait. I thought it was on the 2nd season. I'm still on the 1st. I think.
I beat you. I'm finally on to the 2nd season.
Just watch.
Have you seen anything with Crazy Jane's Underground?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, the one with the multiple personalities?
Yes, where they go inside her head and
yeah, it was super cool.
That was one of the best episodes so far. That and Danny the Street are my favorite episodes. But okay, is that what they're going for here?
That's what I thought they were going for, but that's their own way.
Yes, and I think that kind of helped my brain understand what was going on by comparing it to Doom Patrol because. Yeah, Doom Patrol did it first. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay because I like the idea of when one personality is out, when Jake is out, the other ones are still around, just, kind of sheltered in somewhere. And it makes sense because Mark and Steven were so confused. You know what I mean? They didn't know what was going on and I loved how they did that. Though I do feel like it was a little bit taken out of what we've seen done previously, but like it's hard to visualize something like that. I don't know what other way they could possibly go without doing something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's hard, but so basically, I mean, talking about the first 3 episodes, I kind of seen them like 2 months ago, so I want to talk about the second 3. Basically, that whole scene where
you started at episode 3.
I watched the first 3 as they came out, and then I was just like, nah.
Oh man, I wanted to talk about the second episode because that
No,
one gave
which one was
put
that?
everybody in a tiffy. That's when Mark was not Mark, Steven was talking to Harrow, and Harrow was telling him about how their whole non-cult cult worked, uh, and that was like to convince Steven to join.
Yeah.
So he like can understand the movement, which is like, oh, blah blah blah. And then Steven's like, oh, you killing kids? And he's like, well, listen, here's the thing. And he's like, yeah, but no, killing kids is killing kids. And that's when Layla comes in, and she tells Mark to, like, suit up, and he doesn't know what she's talking about. And so she takes his hand, starts dragging him, you know kicking the bad guys, like, what's it called, pushing them out or whatever, and then gets into a
Right.
room, and she's like, some in the suit, some in the suit, some in the suit. He's like, I don't know
Oh
what you're
yeah.
talking about. And then this huge animal jackal thing pops out, pushes him, or wait, or did he fall? Something like that. He summoned the suit, and it's Mr. Knight. There was a lot of people that said it was very controversial because
Why?
apparently Layla saved Moon Knight, and I'm like,
Wait, what?
no, no, that's not what happened. She saved Steven because Steven has no idea what's going on, but she
Mm-hmm.
just mostly dragged him to a room. And when he did have the suit, he didn't have any idea how to frickin' fight. And so she's constantly trying to distract the jackal and then being pummeled for it. That's she's human. She got hurt a
Right.
lot in that episode. And then Mark convinces Steven to say, hey, give me control because there's people here, they can get hurt and you don't know what you're doing. And so he does let Mark take control, becomes Moon Knight, kills the jackal. But everybody is like throwing clickbait titles saying Layla saved Moon Knight and then explaining it. And I'm like, I don't understand. We're remembering two different things. Did we watch two different shows? Because
No.
Moon Knight saved everybody.
Yes.
Layla
Okay.
didn't do much besides trying to distract and failing at it.
I didn't see this because I genuinely like unsubscribed from a lot of that as of like,
It was videos recommended to me.
oh yeah,
So
and I'm just like, I don't want to see it, right? Like, because I believe a lot of what you just said is like you just said, it's too did we watch two different shows? A lot of it is disingenuous to me for clickbait. So if that really upset you, then I'm sorry, but you haven't experienced comic books as a whole. Women have always been pretty badass in comics. Like, how many times have we seen a woman save a man and actually save one, not just help in a situation? So I find that extremely disingenuous. I had no idea people were even upset about that. Now, come on.
I was surprised that people were really upset about the Layla character. Like, she's a new character from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
She was married to him, and because she was married to him, she went on adventures with him. So she has some she knows what to do. She knows how
Right.
to fight because of that. But people were calling her a Mary Sue, and I'm like,
Oh my
how?
god.
Because they're like, oh, because she already knows she can fight. And I'm like, yeah, because she trained and she was with Mark. They were doing this together as a married couple. How was that being a Mary Sue? I don't understand.
I don't know. I honestly thought it was pretty cool that they had them as a married couple in there.
Yeah, it was pretty cute. And she got pummeled a
Yeah,
lot. There was times when she would almost die. And I was like, ah, wah! I kept thinking she was gonna die.
I did see a couple people, especially when the first episode came out, saying they made Steven an idiot and stuff like that. Um Yeah, it's kind of his character, right? They did take away like the money and all of that stuff, but they needed to make it make sense. And I thought they did a really good job with storytelling to make that character still very similar to his comic book origins, but make sense. Now, as far as Layla, yeah, you're right. She's a new character. There is I mean, we already said spoilers, but the swap at the end, I'm assuming people probably are also complaining about, which
I heard a couple of it. I only heard one person talk about it though. And I'm like, "Oh, well, if this is a bigger thing than, what you say, how come I'm seeing only you talk about it? I haven't heard anybody else talk about it." And I didn't know. So, I don't read the comics, but either way, it's temporary. It shouldn't matter
Yeah,
much.
temporary avatar. And then it's because that character, Silver Scarab, or no, Scarlet Scarab, is like a one and done character, right? Like, it wasn't a Taskmaster. It wasn't this fan favorite character. I didn't even realize it was a swap until I Googled it. Like, I was just
What
like,
does the
oh,
person look like?
cool.
It's a guy, right?
Yeah, it's I believe, an Egyptian
Excuse me,
male
sorry.
or black male. I'm not sure. I
No,
know.
Egyptian people are black too.
Okay, so it's probably Egyptian. That was
Yeah,
probably
because
my
Egypt is
arrogance
in Africa,
or
so you
ignorance. Oh
have
my god.
so you have many different lighter and darker skin tones.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, that's all it was. And I get it, like, but nobody knows who that character is. I'm not being mean or anything, but it's a very, very small character. Like,
They said it was
very.
disrespectful to the creator who created the character, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
It's work
I
for
don't want to say
hire.
gender swap, but like that's like saying Falcon becoming Captain America is disgracing the
Disrespectful.
original creator when,
Yeah, they
it
do that
isn't.
shit
It's a
all the
property.
time. Like,
Yeah.
if the person that created the character isn't clutching their pearls and being like, I feel disrespected, who are you to get disrespected in their honor? You know what I mean? Like,
Is that
if
person
they're
still alive?
I don't know. I honestly don't know who created that character, but like, a lot of times they'll do that. Like, even with the milestone stuff, like, dude, the original, person is still working on these. What are you talking about? Like, I know one had died, but a lot of people do that. It's disrespectful to the original creator. How? Tell me how. Marvel was, and that's what annoys me about Marvel, whereas DC's a lot better about it. They're not gonna pay them anyway. Like, they fuck their creators a lot of the times. Like, did you notice how they never use the name Mr. Knight?
No.
Pay
Did they ever
attention,
say Moon
man.
Knight?
Yeah, they did say Moon Knight,
Really?
and it said it in the closed caption, but they never said Mr. Knight. Like, these things are simply to fuck the people that made them. Like, we know Marvel's not going to pay. Look at the stuff that was going on with Winter Soldier. Like, it sucks, but that's Marvel for you. They figure out ways to really screw their creators. And unfortunately, when you do work for hire, that's how it's going to be. It's not disrespectful. Marvel paid the creator originally and probably paid them pretty well. And now it's theirs. Sorry, not to be cruel, but that's just kind of how it is.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately so. Like, I wish they, when I did that interview with Jeffrey Thorne, even if we were talking about, even if they just took 1%, it would change these people's life. And they could be able to really, like, live a better lifestyle. Okay, this is completely off subject, but pay your fucking creators. Just do it, Marvel. Come on now.
Yeah, let's go.
Just pay them. Goodness gracious. Anyways, so yes, I had no idea that people were upset about that. I mean, I did know they were upset about the Steven kind of being a bumbling fool for a little bit. But I didn't think there was a whole lot for them to get upset about in this show, but I guess I underestimate the power of the clickbait title. So now we got to talk about that Asylum, because I was so confused. Oh my god, it was so good though. I was trying to figure out back and forth what was going on, right? Like, because we see at the end of the third episode that Dr. Harrow, who is also completely changed. Did you hear anybody say anything about him being disrespected?
No.
He's in the comics. He's a completely different character now, though. Like, he was like a mad scientist that did human experimentation. Completely different character. Anyways, we see him shoot Moon Knight twice and fall into this water. And I thought he was going down in water, but he apparently wasn't. I found out later, but I like how they do the storytelling with like keeping things in twos. Like, he shot him twice, and one essentially one for each personality. And then Mark dies, like legitimately dies. What did you think of the representation of the Egyptian gods going like full comic book with it, like hippo
Yeah.
comic book with it?
It was super fun.
I fucking loved it. Like, I'm like, yes, you did not shy away from the weird.
The weird part is the best part.
I know, but Disney, like, I thought maybe they'd sugarcoat it with like some other way of doing it. No, they went fully on, and I'm like, yes, I love this. I love this. But I love that, like, uh, diving into where Hera was talking to Mark, or I'm sorry, Steven, in the room, right? And it's this psych ward, and that's what he compartmentalizes in his mind to kind of keep himself safe. And the idea that each one of these rooms is a memory I loved, but the reveal of his mother was fucking, it was great and it made sense, but it was like I just wanted to hug him. It was horrible. Like, that kid, I don't know how any sort of mother could treat their child that way. Like, that's where my mind goes, and I know there are people out there like that, but that's where my mind goes to, could anybody be that cruel?
Yeah. Only if they want to.
I don't. So what I'm talking about, if you guys haven't seen yet, is his brother Roro died. And unfortunately, like, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. He was a kid. If anybody should be at fault here, like, nobody should be at fault. Let's be real. Accidents happen. That's why they're called accidents and not on purpose, right? But the parents can't put blame on a child. They just can't. They should have been watching their child better. Just want to say that. But the mother over and over and over blames Mark for the death of the brother. And it's fucking like, this whole time we've seen Mark, he's like stone cold, right? He's the mercenary. He's the badass. He's this. And it kind of takes him to his knees to a point where you're like, he totally broke. He totally broke. And that's how Steven was actually born. I love that reveal.
Man, was he beat? Was Steven beat?
I don't know. Because Steven only remembered the mother as a good soul.
That's what I'm confused. Like, as soon as like the mother was like banging on the door, that's when Mark changed to Steven.
Yeah.
But I'm like, did he go back to Mark before he was beat?
He must have had to have.
But then Steven said that, oh, I was only I was created because of, something specific, so I can be your lackey or your something like that. So I can be your something, 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 which made me think, oh, was he hit? But how can he be hit if he only remembers her as being kind?
And that was another thing that confused me a little bit. Who is he calling?
He's calling the mom.
But the mom's dead.
Yeah, he automatically puts a phone to his ear and pretend that he's actually having a conversation with her. He doesn't press call or anything.
Oh, so like, okay. It's kind of like a weird way Mark protecting him, like,
Yeah.
putting that, okay. All right, that makes sense. Like, and he took that death extremely hard. Like, for the type of person she was, he took that death. I mean, I guess Steven didn't know that. And honestly, like, I thought that was really good. I thought the way that they did that was really well done. And then they get into that room where it shows all the people. That was another thing I thought was really good. All the people that Mark has killed, and he remembers each and every single one of them. I thought that was great. Like, instead of forgetting what happened in that situation, he's like, you try taking a life. I love that. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing, there was a really great line also from Harrow, and I forget what it was, and I meant to write it down. It was about the brothers, but I can't remember what it was at this point. I really liked the entire situation when they were underground, or I guess not underground. um, they were doing that scene, and then we see Taro. Was it Tarawet? Is that her name?
Uh, her name's like so weird. I can't pronounce it very well.
I can't either, but like, so she was kind of the entire time like rooting for him, like on their side. And we I'm so confused. How does why doesn't she have an avatar originally? If everybody else did, or
I
did it
think it's
die?
because she's focused on like, bringing the dead to whether,
Their final
the
resting place.
field or this, yeah.
That could be, but like, I was confused there for a minute. We see Steven. Oh, that was the line I was talking about. He was like, we see Mark, almost getting thrown overboard and everything else, and then Steven's like, if I'm, if you are these things, then so am I. And he starts kicking ass. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
It took 5 episodes, but dude finally realized his worth, and I thought that was a great line.
I'm so happy that he decided that talking is not going to do anything, like talking it out there. Sometimes
Hmm.
you just have to fight, and because of that he's more confident in that now. And so I'm like, okay, so this could bring us closer to a Mr. Knight, especially since he was fired from his job. So he has to make money somehow.
Yeah, and the way they used Mr. Knight in that last episode, where they're actually back in Cairo and they're going back and forth between Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and they're fighting in tandem. That was great. That was like, I loved the way that was shot, because it was like like it was almost 3-on-1 instead of 2, because they worked so well together.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, I can't wait to show you uh our new sets of skills, Layla. And I'm like, ooh, what am I gonna be seeing?
Is it weird? Is it like, I don't know how that relationship would work. It's so confusing. Like, if now we see at the end he was alone in the bedroom again, but still, if Layla decided not to get the divorce that they had talked about, is she dating both of, or is she married to both of them now?
No,
Like,
specifically married to Steven. I mean,
no,
sorry,
Mark.
Mark. Steven is somebody else entirely different.
But like, she kissed him.
She did. I think that she probably thought that Mark was
Yeah.
probably going to be, she was, talking about the divorce. She's like, okay, so I think I'm starting to like Steven more. So happy that I'm getting a divorce. But she over time it shows that she does care more about Mark than she does Steven.
Well, and I love that Steven's such a good guy. He finally said, even before they kiss, he's wanting to kiss her, and he's like, oh my God, I gotta tell you, Mark is just trying to protect you. That's the only reason he's getting the divorce. Like, I love that. That shows what a good guy he is.
Yeah.
Um, I gotta say it. I gotta say it, because if not, my eyes will bleed. That would be the weirdest threesome ever.
No.
That would be the weirdest fucking threesome ever. It would be so
Oh.
weird. I don't know. I don't know how she could handle it. But yeah. I love it. I think the dichotomy of how they did that was so good. I still like, the last time we talked about this, I said I love the mirror thing. And then they extended it to not only mirrors, but like, water and stuff like that. It was so good. It was so good.
Sorry, I'm having sniffles.
Oh no, you're totally fine. So um basically what we see then at the end is this giant fight scene, and Layla become the avatar for Terawit.
Temporarily.
Temporarily, yes, she makes that very clear. And Mark returned back to life, and that scene where they're running on the pyramid and the angle changes of the camera, it is so good. There was a lot of really good action shots in this like whole breakdown. There was, whether it was Haro and Steven, or if it was even Layla, but they added one line in here, and I gotta ask about it. Is it pandering or is it cute to have that little girl go, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And she's like, "I am."
Both.
That's true. They're not mutually exclusive. It can be both things.
I mean,
I thought it
she
was
could have
adorable.
said, "Are you a superhero?" Would that be any different to her saying specifically Egyptian?
Is there any other Egyptian heroes in Marvel's cinematic universe?
Not that I know of. I think this is the first time they're tackling Egyptian things.
And
Everything else
is
is mostly like science or magic based.
and even in DC, I think the only one they have right now is probably, do they have Hot Girl? I thought they used to have Hot Girl in Legends of Tomorrow, and they made her Egyptian. I saw it.
Oh,
I
she's
don't
Egyptian? Well, they
know.
made the originals, yeah, are Egyptian, and then they reincarnate a lot, blah blah blah. But I guess they stayed in the same body, just reincarnated, which is kind of weird.
Even looking like up, because I'm looking it up right now, Egyptian superheroes are very rare. Like, you've got Apocalypse, but he's a villain. Shadow King, but that literally is, wait, Shadow King? Isn't Shadow King also Moon Knight, another personality? Or am I thinking someone else?
I don't know.
I think I'm thinking someone else. There's very, very few Egyptian superheroes. So I actually, at first I was like, "Oh, that's cute," and I'm
Black
like,
Adam.
"Wait, Black Adam." Well, yeah, Black Adam, and then his old lady in 52. But other than that, there's very, very few. So if I were to look at it, because at first I was like, "That's super cute, right? This little girl," and then I'm like, "Wait, is it pandering?" And then I'm like, "No." If there was an overabundance of Egyptian superheroes, I would be like, "Yeah, this is silly." But because it's so rare, I thought it was adorable. Like, I really do. And it was the cutest little girl ever. Come on now.
I mean, saying something specifically like that, especially nowadays, it's gonna get some flack. Same thing with
Right.
that She-Hulk joke in the trailer.
Wait, what joke?
Um, where did you see the She-Hulk trailer?
Fuck yes. I'm
So
excited.
there was a scene where Hulk was saying, "Okay, so being like scared or angry,
Wait,
that's how you trigger it." And then she was like, "Oh, so like a woman's life or
baseline is
something like
being
that."
angry. Wait, people got offended by that?
Yeah, and I was like,
No, it's
That's
just
pretty
a
funny."
joke. Oh, come
Well,
on.
and it's woken out because of it. Okay.
What? Stop. All right, everybody needs to take a seat and chill the fuck out. It was a joke. Why? Wait, weren't they just defending Dave Chappelle and saying it's just jokes, bro? It's just jokes. Lord have
I don't
mercy.
know, but funny enough, I felt I got a haircut like last week, and
Woohoo.
I'm standing outside of the salon, waiting for my ride, and so there's a lot of people passing by, and every single time my guy passed by, I got chills, and I was scared I was gonna crap my pants. There was even
Yeah,
one where he was going to a restaurant that was like literally right next to me, and he opened the door, and then he just kept looking at me.
yeah, it's creepy.
And then he goes inside. I'm like, why the frick did you do that? Why would you do that? Do you know how scared I was? Were you staring at me like that for almost
Yep.
like 20 seconds, bro?
You better
Mind your
have
business. Leave me
freaking pepper spray or something on you.
alone. I didn't bring the keys.
Oh my, you're a mess. No, but I get it. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong. I didn't know people are offended by that joke. Or at least, in a tizzy. But that was She-Hulk to me. Like, she's always kind of funny and upbeat. That was She-Hulk to me. Like, I thought that was adorable. Like, yeah, she's right, but it's funny. Just
Yeah, and throughout the whole thing, the commentary just reminds me of comic book commentary of how
yes,
comic book dialogue would go, and I'm like, this is very comic booky. I love the freaking dialogue.
and like for a long time. Remember when that the Mariko Tamaki She-Hulk was around before Roel took over, and it was the big Hulk She-Hulk version, right?
Wasn't that Jason Aaron? Like
Jason Aaron,
he,
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say Mariko Tamaki did have a bigger She-Hulk, but Jason Aaron had like the biggest She-Hulk, I believe.
He was like, hold my beer. But but everybody wanted the sexy She-Hulk back. When I seen the trailer beside, CGI but alone, like to the side, because I think they'll end up fixing some of that. But
So I actually have behind the scenes info
ooh, spill the
on
tea.
that. Okay, so Cartoon and Comics actually sent me this source. Really happy about that. So I'm gonna share the source. Share screen. Woo.
Woohoo.
Chrome tab. Woo. Sharing. Here we go. This is how she was supposed to look originally. And this is the person. What's it? Dat Trinity Art. She Hulk just sharing the works in the WIP folder. Haha. Since I can't share most of the work I am currently doing, I'm also learning to let go. Not everything needs to be meticulously detailed. So this is how she was originally supposed to
Beautiful.
look like, but Marvel didn't like it and said that she looks too masculine. We have to slim her down. And
Oh
so the slimming
wow.
her down is what you see in the trailer.
Okay. So
That's
that does make sense then.
Yeah, and they're crunching right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they only have 2 months left, and that sucks because
It's still beautiful looking. Like I get she's more muscular, but that's still that
it looks
artist is phenomenal.
yeah, so like the one in the trailer, it looks unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, are they actually going to be able to finish this in 2 months? Like they're not going to be able to sleep because this is so messed up with only 2 months left."
They should delay it just because I would much rather have a good show than have to
Have a crappy
have
looking
a bunch
CGI.
like I would rather have a bunch of people not roasting it for the CGI because it reminded me like they didn't use that version of it, which they could have, but everybody, let's be real, not a lot of people are super big fans of that version.
I
It reminded
mean, they say
me
she looks like a tranny right now in the
of
trailer, and
of
I'm like,
course they do.
"Okay."
Of course. Like, yeah, I can admit there was some serious CGI. Like I when she first transformed, I'm like, Fiona, is Shrek gonna show up? Like, what's
But
going
Fiona is
on?
beautiful, though.
Fiona is beautiful, but it still reminded me of it. I was just like, ooh. It felt like the lighting was off in a couple of it. It wasn't anything that couldn't be fixed, but like there was enough good singers in there. Like the one you talked about, the baseline of being a woman, I thought that was hilarious. Like I really did, just because it's like it's relatable. It's funny. And then the where she's like talking about superheroes and she's like, and orphans, oddly enough. Like, I thought some of those lines were really good. She-Hulk's supposed to be naturally funny. She came off that way. And then they went straight for the thoughty She-Hulk. And I'm like, everybody's gonna love this. And then I see the headlines and I'm like, oh, what happened? This is straight out of like John Byrne, Dan Slutty She-Hulk. What's going on?
And
I thought
I enjoyed it.
I did see
But
some people complaining about her carrying him at the end.
it's what Liana said. It's the whole mommy thing.
What? No, Liana, no. What? Like the mommy fetish?
It's like somebody calling an attractive woman mommy. Sorry, mommy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, I get
mommy.
it.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, I thought it was more like I don't know. I thought it went for it, and I thought it delivered pretty well. Besides the CGI stuff, like the She-Hulk that we've all like loved, like the one that is fourth wall breaking crazy. That last little bit with her carrying just kind of was like I mean, we don't have context for it, but like it reminded me of like where she was like said about the French fries. And she was like, "Can we get them to go?" Like, she was unwilling to wait, so she was just gonna carry him to the bedroom. Like, that's what my mind went to. But I don't know. I'm surprised. Besides the CGI, I think it looks awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I just hope I would much rather wait a little bit longer and have good CGI with it
Same.
than it just like take your time. It's fine. We've waited this long for a She-Hulk show.
I
Just make
wouldn't mind waiting until like November if it gets fixed.
Yeah,
Because that's my birth
exactly.
month.
That's
That's our
right.
birth month.
That's right. I wanted the show to be good. And I think Tatiana Maslany is so fucking cute. So I think she's gonna do a great job, but like, yeah, I get it. The CGI was bad. It was wonky. Just fix it. They did it with Stranger Things have known to happen. Remember Sonic?
Yes.
They
I
fixed
don't
that.
want to though. He's in the Chip and Dale movie too.
I know I kept seeing a screenshot floating around where it looks terrible.
It's just I can't stop looking at it and I don't know why.
Have you seen the movie yet?
The Sonic movie?
No, the Chip
No.
and Dale one.
Oh, I just heard from Robert yesterday that it came out on Friday, and I'm like, dang, I could have watched it, but I didn't know.
I'm curious what context there is because it could be like it was made to look bad like that for a reason. You know what I mean? Like there's probably some context added to it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see an issue with it as long as they fix it. And they literally decided not to go with bulky She-Hulk. So what are people I don't know what it is about like men having issue. Like there's a lot of men that like that body style, right? Beauty is subjective. Some people like anorexic Britney Spears is. Okay, well not anymore. That was a bad example for today, but I'm old. Give me a break. Um, and some people like the more muscular body style. And they didn't even go like full Abby. They went with like curves and everything. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I do. I really do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how we went from Moon Knight to She-Hulk.
I know. we did. I apologize, but yeah, let's get back to that last episode because I wanted to talk about a little bit about where it's going and all that fun stuff. Yeah, but She-Hulk's gonna be good. Check it out. Maybe it's gonna be good. I don't know.
Please delay it.
Yes,
Please.
yes. Just take a lesson out of Sonic and fix it. People will support it just because you listened to fans going, "This looks bad, fix it," and people will really respect that. So do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Now that last episode, we talked about the fight sequence. There was some amazing choreography with the fight sequence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how we got on the subject because I asked if I thought that you thought that was pandering or if that was cute, and then
Oh, it was in the
right
joke.
from there. But also the rest of the episode, we kind of get like, I really thought Haro was gonna live, right? But then it fucks with my head because we don't have this whole thing has been like, this isn't connected to the main Marvel universe. It's standalone, blah blah blah, and it could be a one and done. From my understanding, it was only going to be one season, and then we get this fucking amazing, and I mean absolutely amazing. I loved it. End credit scene, and we finally get the reveal of Jake, and it is like everything I wanted in a fucking superhero show, in a Moon Knight show. Like they took so much, like that. The hospital that they were at. Did you notice the name on it?
Oh, for which one? I was about to sneeze. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. The where Hero was at, that hospital when they pick him up. Did you notice what the name of the hospital was?
Oh, I forgot.
It was Sickwitch. One of the
okay, I'm not gonna know the reference then.
yeah, no, it was just one of the artists. But I thought that was really cool. And then that limo that they're in, that is something like straight out of the comics, but that's Mr. Knight's. Mr. Knight has this like, because he's more like the personality that is business, right?
Mm-hmm.
He actually isn't the fighting one. I mean, he will, but he's not like generally. He's like the one that's willing to go out and negotiate with people and talk and so he has this limo that he did very similar to this scene in, and I thought like I think I know where they're going with season 2, but I thought this was a great setup for it. So you haven't read Jeff Lemire's run, right?
Yes. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
He's he's the most talked about ever since the Moon Knight show came out.
So I'm gonna give you a little bit of spoilers.
Sure.
The idea of that run was that Khonshu was the villain. And a lot of what we had previously seen in those memorable scenes was Khonshu manipulating Mark from a very young age to have DID. And with him still using Jake, without Mark and Steven knowing, I am wondering if we're going into season 2 looking at Khonshu being the villain. Bianca.
That ending really surprised me.
I know. He's totally off the table now.
I was like, wait, were you lying this entire time? Were you faking everything? Like faking being concerned? Were you really that weak when fighting Coiro? Were you faking it?
Well, like I don't know.
Because he came in all a freaking business suit, all snazzy and stuff, and I'm like, what the heck? How much were you lying?
Wait, which one?
Oh, wait, talking about Khonshu, yeah?
Yeah, no. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, but I think Khonshu is gonna. I don't know necessarily. He's maybe not a villain. That's not the right word. An antagonist. Because in that Jeff Lemire run, we learned that he has basically his entire life manipulated him to become his avatar. And at the end, or towards the end, not a huge spoiler, but it is resolved because of what Jake does to Khonshu. And that's why I thought it was such a good like reveal that he's using Jake specifically, because there's history there, right? Like you can tell these people know what they're doing. They've done their homework. And if anything, that's respectable on its own. 100%. This show is I loved it. I can't wait for more.
I can't wait for more too. But funny enough, I also read that She-Hulk is already like preparing for season 2.
Hell yeah. I'm totally okay with that too. I love me some She-Hulk. She's one of my favorite characters. These two characters, and I like Wanda a lot too.
Character.
They're the best characters in Marvel Comics. Come on now. You don't get much better than that. Though I do love now what's his name? Jack of Aces? Ace of Jacks? I like him now too. Now since
Jack's
the Rainbow Jacks of Hearts, that's what it is. I never remember. I like him a lot too now though. But that's because of She-Hulk I like him.
Oh, I just read a comment. Since they already confirmed that she was going to break the fourth wall, imagine she looks at the camera dead in the eye and comments on the quality of her own CGI.
Oh my god, that would be so good! Like poking fun at themselves. Oh my god, that would be great.
I did hear that they added 4 extra scenes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, why add extra scenes now, though?
Mm-hmm. Like, maybe improve upon the ones you've already got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe this is the first Disney Plus show you actually finished, but it was worth it. It was really, really good. Like, this is not Peacemaker levels of good, but this is by far their best. They're finally getting their footing in how to do this, and it really, really showed. I love it. I love me some Moon Knight anyways. He's such like a trouble cell. I think I always like am drawn to the characters that are more like you can dive into what could be wrong, what psychologically you can take away from them. And he's just a fucking mess psychologically, and I love it.
I love it too. I love it more. I love it more than you. You don't know, man.
That's right. All right, we're gonna wrap up. Is there anything I missed before we go?
This was such a short series.
I
But I
know,
heard
we want
She-Hulk's
more.
gonna have 9 episodes.
Wait, what?
She-Hulk is gonna have like 9 or
Oh,
10
yes.
episodes. So I'm excited for that. Because I'm like 6 episodes too short. I mean, it
Mhm.
ended pretty good on just 6 episodes. Apparently, he can play every race. He can be white. He can be Jewish. He can be Hispanic Latino, which I believe he already is.
I have
I
no
might have
idea what
read that
he's
somewhere.
ambiguously brown. There we go.
Yeah, there
And
you go. He
that's the
plays
one thing
all
I
the
did.
roles.
That's right. We said that, and when we talked about it, the first one, I said I hope they dig into his Jewish roots, and they got that little details that I love, and they didn't go into it a whole bunch. It was just there, and that's why they did it flawlessly. I love it.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to ask you during the whole the ending scene where with Harrow in the hospital,
Hmm.
as somebody who works at one, how do you think the whole nurse letting the patient go with
Oh, that
some
wouldn't happen.
yeah. I'm
Not
like,
a
I
chance in
think she should
hell.
be fired.
Yeah, yeah. Not a chance in hell. They would have had um a better chance of doing that if they said they were like a somebody that was related to them and they were on an outing. Sometimes that can happen, but not a fucking chance in hell that they would just like wheel him out and put him in a limo. No way. No
What's
way.
funny is that I thought it was a person just speaking Spanish, but then you hear his English later on, and I'm like, okay, I see what he did. He specifically spoke Spanish to confuse the nurse to let him go, and that he didn't know any English at all. And it
Oh,
worked.
well, that was smart. That was smart, but like, yeah, no. No, the nurse would be like, excuse me, what, who are you? Why are you here? And why do you not have a guest pass?
Well, I'm glad she's okay because apparently, some other nurses were freaking dead.
Oh yeah, when he looked behind the desk, I forgot about that. I think that's how he got the credentials. Is steal the person's out. I mean, he didn't steal their outfit, but like steal their passes and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe next time we'll talk more She-Hulk.
That's right. Yeah, because She-Hulk looks freaking awesome. But that's for another video. All right, thank you so much, Bianca. Make sure you guys check out her channel and all of that fun stuff. It will be in the description if you are not subscribed already. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I can feel, I can look, I feel it from my mind.